Good day guys, welcome to my video. So today we're going to talk about respiratory system, parts, and its function for toads. But first of all, we're going to talk about how do toads breathe. Like all amphibians, toads breathe through their skin as well as with their lungs. When a toad is inactive, the skin usually absorbs enough oxygen to meet its needs. So air enters the toad's mouth through its nostrils, and by raising the floor of its mouth, the toad forces the air into its lungs. So now that we know how do toads breathe, we'll move on to respiratory tract of the toad. Larynx. The larynx of many anurans like frogs and toads is larger in males than in females and is crucial for producing mating calls. Relative to body size, the laryngeal mass, vocal cord length, and the dilator muscle width are all reduced in males from sugarcane regions compared to their urban counterparts. Next is the glottis. As the glottis remains closed, the air cannot pass into the lungs. The mixed air is thus pumped into the lungs through the glottis. In a living toad, the floor of the buccal cavity is constantly moved up and down, and the mouth is kept closed. This only means that the animal is breathing. Lungs. The lung wall consists of 4 layers. The mesothelium, dense connective tissue with thin elastic fibers, loose connective tissue containing small muscle fibers, and an internal respiratory epithelium. The visceral pleura is a delicate membrane that covers the surface of each lung and dips into the fissures between the lobe of the lungs. The parietal pleura is the outer membrane which is attached to the inner surface of the thoracic cavity. It also separates the pleural cavity from the mediastinum. Next is the alveoli. The buccal cavity opens into the exterior by the interior and external nares. The outer wall of each lung is hollowed out internally to produce innumerable simple chambers, which are called air sacs or alveoli. Each alveolus receives its own blood supply from a minute branch of the pulmonary artery. Lastly is the bronchi. Bronchi are the main passageway into the lungs. The bronchi become smaller the closer they get to the lung tissue and are then considered the bronchioles. These passageways then evolve into tiny air sacs called alveoli, which is the site of oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in the respiratory system. So that is all guys. Thank you for listening and I hope that you learned something today. Cheers!